What is going on with college tuition this year in the legislature?
Well, we, I think, have a commitment in all four of the caucuses of the legislature to continue the tuition freeze that was put in place in 2013. And just to give some background on that, in 2009, the legislature cut higher education by $500 million. 2011, legislature cut by $600 million. And so you were seeing at that time 16% tuition increases at WSU, 20% at University of Washington. And that's just unacceptable when it comes to the kind of burden that our middle class families are facing now in this state. And so largely because of the leadership of Senator Andy Hill in the Senate, we were able to freeze tuition and also increase funding to higher education by 12% in 2013. And I think we need to do that again this year. I think there's a lot of other folks in both parties who want to do the same, and that's what we're committed to doing this year.
What are your priorities as the ranking Republican on the House Higher Education Committee?
Well, first of all, is the tuition freeze and backfilling to make sure that we're sustaining our institutions and making responsible investments in the workforce of our future. But secondly, we need to invest in the state need grant, which is a way that we can provide that, fill that gap for lower income and middle class students who need that extra funding to get a college degree. Third, we need to encourage innovation. Sometimes our higher education institutions are resistant to change, and we need to push for that change. We need more computer science degrees, we need more engineering degrees, and we need more healthcare professionals in this state coming out of our higher education institutions. Fourth, we need to control costs. I think we've seen a skyrocketing of costs across the country in higher education, and we need to do what we can to push for cost controls in this state. Fifth, we need to encourage choice, whether you want to go to a four-year institution or a community college, whether you want to go to an independent college or a career college, or whether you want to get an apprenticeship or a certification. We need to have choices available to Washingtonians. And sixth, we need to be the most veteran-friendly higher education system in the United States.
What is being done to reduce the cost of textbooks for our college students?
Well, one of the things that we've heard from students this year is just how exorbitant the cost of their textbooks has become. It is an increasing burden that they face, along with the cost of tuition, along with the cost of living that our students and middle-class families are facing. And so, one of the things that I proposed is that we have a $100 cap on textbooks unless there is no suitable open online textbook and unless there is no suitable alternative textbook available. This is to get, in part, a conversation going about how we can reduce costs for textbooks. But it is also, we can't accept these $200 textbooks that students are having to buy, that they're having to choose between whether to get a meal or whether to, get a textbook. That just is not a choice that our students should have to face. Another great bill by my seatmate, Representative Melanie Stambaugh, is to start an open textbook pilot project at Eastern Washington University. We've already had some great development of an open course library by the community college system, thanks to some work that was done by legislators several years ago, and that's now resulted in 81 open courses through the community college system. We need to take that kind of innovation into our four-year system as well.
What is the latest on the new medical school at Washington State University?
Well, we passed a bill that would allow Washington State University to start a medical school out of the Higher Education Committee earlier this week. And that bill now goes on for a vote on the House floor. There's also a similar bill coming through the Senate. That doesn't have anything to do with the kind of budgetary commitment that we would make to a new medical school, which would have a very high fiscal note. And so we need to explore that option, though. What is clear is that we need more doctors in rural and underserved areas in Washington. And Washington State University has come up with a possible solution. At the same time, University of Washington already has a medical school and already has a program called WWAMI, which involves 5 western states and is providing some of that unmet need in the rural and underserved areas. And so we should continue to fund WWAMI, I believe, but we should also explore the possibility of a WSU medical school. And that's a conversation going on right now.